Hi, so I'm just going to show you quickly how I've made this really cute flower, basically using just cardstock, a scallop punch and some water. Also you'll need a brad of some description, and maybe if you've got one, a paper piercer just to pierce a hole in the middle to put your brad through. So basically all you're going to do is get your scallop punch. I'm using a 3-inch scallop punch, and you're going to cut out 8 of these lovely scallops. Alternatively, you could use paper, but you'd have to probably be really careful because it's going to be adding a lot of water, so it's going to become quite damp. Now I'm using the basil cardstock, which is a bit thicker than your ordinary cardstock. Now I'm just going to ink the edges of mine using the Stays On ink. Because you're going to be adding water to this, you wanted to use a non-fading ink, and one that's obviously waterproof. So I'm just quickly going to add the ink to my flower. I just like adding a little bit of ink to it to give it a bit more of that shabby sort of look. So once I do this, and you don't have to add it, you could layer different colours of cardstock or add paper in between, but I personally like to use the cardstock, especially the basil, as it's a bit more durable than some of your paper. Then you're just going to get a water mister and generously spray your cardstock, and it's always probably handy to have a tea towel or something around to wipe off the excess water. So then you're just going to get your scallops shapes and just scrunch it all up so it looks like a little spitball that kids would do in class. So you're going to end up with 8 of these little ones. There's a few more that I prepared a bit earlier, and then when you have scrunched it all up, you are then just going to lay each of them individually flat and stack them on top of each other. It doesn't have to be perfect. No flower is perfect. So once you've done them all, make them all flat. You like a bit of a pancake. Just going to add the ones that I've prepared a bit earlier tonight to save time on the video. Then I'm just going to grab my paper piercer. You can probably use a small blade of your knife and roughly find the middle of my flower and pierce it through. You'll have to be a bit careful because these are pretty wet, that you don't want to rip your paper, but at the same time you want to make it big enough that your brad's going to fit through. So once you've done that, you're just going to get your brad and pop it through the hole you've just made. Might take a little bit navigating it all through. So you might want to take a few off and just layer them little by little. In my case, my brad pin's gone one way and the other one's gone the other way. Oh, there we go. So once you've got them all on, you're just going to obviously pull your pins down on your brad, push them together. Now, I like to add a bit more water to each sleeve as I'm going. You're just going to put a bit of water on it, and then each layer by layer, you're going to re-scrunch them back up on top of each other. Now, being cardstock, you can make it fairly wet, but I guess the wetter you make it, the more gentle you have to be about pressing your card paper together. So just kind of scrunch it all up. It doesn't have to be perfect, because as you'll see, we're going to flatten it out a bit in a minute. I mean, these are really inexpensive flowers to make with, leftover cardstock, leftover pattern paper. They will go really well on a scrapbooking page, on a card, or any other projects you might be working on. I mean, you can make them all different sizes. I'm just using a 3-inch size, as the 3-inch scallop is all I have at the moment. And I like my flowers big. Okay, once you've just scrunched them all up, 2 more to go, 3 more to go. If you didn't want such a bulky effect, you could use, less flowers. You could use alternative cardstock, so you've got blue, pink, and any other colours between. You could probably use a bit of cardstock in your paper, in between your cardstock. So now I'm just going to scrunch it together. As you notice there, you'll have a base so that you'll be able to add it to your project. And then, once you've got it all together, you're just slowly going to fan all the layers out. So you're sort of just going to fiddle a little bit with it until you get the kind of look that you're after. This is another reason why I like to ink my flower petals in between, just to give it a bit more of a different look. Once you're happy with it, you can set it aside to dry, but I'm just going to add a bit of glimmer mist to it, and this one is lemon meringue. I'll just go ahead and do that. I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of added a bit of a tinge to my paper, so now it's a bit of like a bluey green colour, and when that dries it'll add a bit of a shimmer look to it. So yeah, that's an easy way to make some flowers for your notebook pages and scrapbooking. It's very inexpensive and a lot of fun to make. Thanks.